Ooh, take a look at these two guys, Justin Trudeau and Stephen Harper. Now, Stephen Harper was the former Prime Minister of Canada, but in 2015, Justin Trudeau beat Stephen Harper to become the new Prime Minister of Canada. Okay, now before that election, they had a debate. I mean, they had lots of debates in the years, but one of the debates before the election was on the topic of ISIS, okay? And the topic they were debating was, should a person's citizenship be revoked if they join ISIS? Okay? Should a person's citizenship be revoked if they join ISIS? Revoked means taken away. Okay? What do you think? Should a person's citizenship be taken away? Should they lose their citizenship if they join ISIS? Now, the reason they were debating this was because there was a problem in Canada. Some Canadian immigrants who had become Canadian citizens went to Syria and Iraq to fight for ISIS. And then they came back and they just wanted to be normal Canadians again. Wow, that happened. I mean, that was a problem here in Canada. Okay, so this was the topic of the debate. Now, Stephen Harper said, if someone is going to fight for ISIS, then their citizenship should be revoked. It should be taken away. You cannot be a Canadian citizen if you decide to fight for ISIS. Okay. Now, Justin Trudeau disagreed with Stephen Harper, and he said something that became very famous. Okay. The line he said was this: a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian, which means you cannot lose your Canadian citizenship. Okay. Now, this is a very famous line. I've heard it a number of times over the past few years. And actually, I heard this on the radio just yesterday. That's why I thought about making a lesson about this topic. Okay. So a Canadian is a Canadian is a Canadian. Now, I think you're going to hear this line in the future if you are interested in politics, if you follow Canadian politics, because the next election is happening next year in 2019. Okay, so the leaders are going to have debates, and they always talk about immigration, terrorism, all of these topics. So you might hear this line again in the future, in future debates. Now, I'm going to make more lessons on Canadian politics in the future when the election gets closer, and we can talk about, some of the ideas. It would even be fun if we could somehow watch a debate together, Canadian politics. I don't know, maybe that would be boring. I like watching political debates. It's interesting for me, but maybe it's boring for you. But anyway, in the future, hopefully I can, teach you a little bit more about Canadian politics, because in my experience, a lot of immigrants who come to Canada, they don't really follow Canadian news or Canadian politics. They just keep following the news from their own countries, right? Like if someone's from India, they might watch, Punjabi news from back, things happening in India, or maybe a Chinese person coming here. They are mainly interested in Chinese politics, or, they're always reading, about Chinese news. Well, if you're in Canada, maybe you're interested in knowing about what's happening in Canada, but maybe the English is too advanced. If you're watching a debate, they're using high-level English. So maybe that's difficult for you, but I hope I can make it simple for you in my future lessons. But anyway, right now I want to know, what's your opinion? Should a person's citizenship be revoked if they join ISIS? What's your opinion? Let me know down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.